Israel has requested UN peacekeeping forces along the Blue Line to relocate. Is this request legal under the international law? And how can the international organizations address these ongoing Israeli violations?
Of course, giving orders by the Israeli government to UNIFIL forces is illegal. All the evacuation orders, actually, that Israel is giving to Lebanese people are also illegal because Israel has no right to enter Lebanon or to bomb any territory in Lebanon. I'm sorry, but I'm hearing myself while I'm talking, so I can't hear you if you're talking back. So going back to what I was saying, so Israel has no right or under international law to invade Lebanon, as they are trying to do, nor bomb any civilian infrastructure. And having, as they call them, military targets inside civilian infrastructure does not give them the right to bomb it. They have to follow both principles, the principle of distinction and the principle of proportionality under international humanitarian law. And when targeting military objects or personnel.
Sir, what sanctions could Israel face after targeting the Lebanese-Syrian border crossing at Al-Masna, which serves as a humanitarian aid corridor?
First, the Masna crossing is not just an entrance into Syria. It's the gate to the GCC countries. All trade with the GCC countries happens through this crossing. In addition, also to the humanitarian corridor that could be used there. So by bombing this crossing, a civilian crossing, Israelis are telling Lebanese people and the world that we will bomb you in Lebanon. We will not allow you to leave Lebanon, and we will not allow any humanitarian aid in also.
Israel conducted a violent airstrike on Beirut's southern suburbs, targeting Hezbollah leaders, which resulted in the destruction of civilian homes. How can the UN Security Council prevent Israel from carrying out similar attacks in Lebanon and Gaza?
The UN Security Council is a bit, dysfunctional lately. So to stop Israel, they just have to exercise their jurisdiction, which they don't want to do because of the veto votes by the US. How can they stop the Israelis from all the crimes that they are committing? They can start first with, economic sanctions, leading to eventually military intervention, which I don't think will. We're witnessing, the downside of international law in general, and the UN itself, and how all these international mechanisms that they were built to sustain peace, international peace and security, are failing to do so, which will eventually also lead to questioning the existence of these bodies.
So could the Israeli officials face international courts for repeated violations against civilians in Lebanon and Gaza?
Well, we have to differentiate between Lebanon and Palestine, because Palestine is a member to the ICC, the International Criminal Court, while both Lebanon and Israel are not members to the ICC. So the ICC in Lebanon does not have jurisdiction. This leaves us in Lebanon with the International Court of Justice, which does not have, criminal justice powers. They only have, powers on civil matters or, advisory matters. And still, the executive power is invested in the Security Council, which again brings us to the veto problem of the US. On another level, you have the international mechanisms under the UN, the Human Rights Council, and the special rapporteurs. They don't have any powers to, stop Israel immediately, but they can document and raise their voices against Israel and the crimes that they are committing. This also leaves us to what can be done to stop Israel. European countries and the US should, exercise their their own laws, their national laws that they usually do in other conflicts by cutting trade with the country that is committing all these crimes, putting on sanctions on their officials, and to put maximum pressure and stop all arm support and aid that they are providing to Israel.
Mm-hmm. Finally, Mr. Al-Moghabat, human rights violations persist in Gaza and Lebanon. How can the UN Human Rights Commission hold Israel accountable for these actions, I would say crimes, as an occupying force?
The short answer, they cannot, unfortunately, because they don't have executive powers to pressure Israel. But what they can do is to document all these violations and to take these violations in their own reports to the UN Human Rights Council, which also is subject to political interests by its members, because the members are actually states and they're not experts. Which leads us to a blocked road in terms of putting some accountability in course against the Israeli government.